image of bhangra, gidda, colour and a sense of joy. But behind this colour is sometimes a sordid story of unfulfilled promises. This time the political landscape of the state also is dotted with several political parties. Over the next half hour, I'm trying to go into a chunk of what Punjab is going to be like. As we drive into the Majha area, we enter what is called the holy or the Panthic part of Punjab.
एक ओंकार सतनाम करता पुरख निर्भव निर्वैर अकाल.
Now this belt, which has more religious significance and is not as crucial for a win like the Malwa belt, the Majha area consists of Amritsar, Taran, Pathankot. The Majha belt is actually the heart of the Panthic feelings of Punjab. Religion plays an important role as far as politics is also concerned. While most of the chief ministers of the state have actually come in not from here but from the Malwa area, but they say that in Punjab, anyone who wins the heart of the people of here also wins the heart of the people of Punjab. But this belt also shares a proximity with Pakistan and is vulnerable for many reasons. Amritsar may have shed the scars of Operation Blue Star and the Khalistani movement, but today it fights a bigger battle: drugs.
बहुत अनफॉर्चुनेट है, लोग देख रहे हैं.
It's an issue which crops up during each election in the state, which also shows that little has been done to address it. Amritsar is dotted with several de-addiction centres like this one. Its director, Dr. JPS Bhatia, tells me that nothing has changed. In fact, the number of young boys who come for rehab has only increased over the years.
Do you think they are talking about the solution part? No, nobody is talking about the solution part. In fact, the disease concept of the drug addiction has been all spoiled. And we are trying to get the political mileage out of the disease, which the people of Punjab and the youth of Punjab are suffering. So I think we should have taken the other way out, right? We should have taken some other concrete measures, and we could have taken some good educational program or good structural program which could help the youth of Punjab.
But how do they get the drugs so easily over here?
It's so easily available. It's available everywhere, in every village, in every street corner, everywhere. Everywhere my patients are coming and telling me that the Chitta is available anywhere they feel like.
As I speak to these three young inmates of the centre, it's clear that all the promises made by netas of a drugs-free Punjab is only mere talk. कि यहाँ पे बहुत आसानी से मिल जाता है, क्या ये बात सच है?
आसानी से मिलता है.
क्या आपको लगता है यही एक कारण है कि इतनी आसानी से मिलता है? तो
ये भी कारण हो सकता है मैडम. यही कारण है. इधर बॉर्डर एरिया होने के कारण अवेलेबल जल्दी हो जाता है. अभी हमारे साथ कश्मीर के लड़के आए हुए हैं 2-3. वो बोल रहे हैं कि मतलब हमारे जैसे यहाँ का बोला जाता है ना, पंजाब में आजकल इतनी ड्रग्स की मतलब प्रॉब्लम चल रही है, तो वो बोल रहा है कि हमारे उधर भी ऐसा ही है, इससे ज़्यादा ही है. मतलब उधर भी हेरोइन काफ़ी एडिक्टेड.
एक जड़ लग गई है नशे की, वैसे उधर भी और स्टेटों में भी है.
बहुत लोगों के पास नौकरी नहीं है, तो क्या करें?
नहीं मैम, गाँव के लड़के हैं जो, वो तो ज़्यादातर वेले हैं जो वही लगते हैं इस पे हेरोइन एडिक्टेड. मतलब जब काम ही नहीं होता, हमारे पास मतलब ज़मीनें वगैरह हैं, उसी का ही चलता है सारा. फार्मिंग वगैरह करते हैं, उसी में से जो पैसा आता है तो सारा इधर ही लगाते हैं लड़के.
80% यूथ मैडम उधर फार्मिंग में ही है.
The easy availability of drugs from across the border ensures a ready and steady supply. Well, this is the last stop of that Atari railway station which connects Punjab with Pakistan. You know, this has been a hub of trade. But when we did speak to a large number of people on how drugs are so easily being procured and luring the young, unemployed youth of the state, they say it is these areas which may be barren now, but very quietly actually, that's where the drugs are permeating the border. Add to this is rampant unemployment. It's a heady mix of depression, and frustration among the youth.
बस हमें नौकरियां नहीं चाहिए, हम वैसे भी रोटी खा लेंगे कमाकर, बस नशा बंद कर दे पंजाब में, और कुछ नहीं चाहिए हमारे को कोई नौकरी नहीं चाहिए, कोई कुछ पैसा नहीं चाहिए, कुछ भी नहीं चाहिए, सिर्फ नशा बंद होना चाहिए।
आप क्या सोच के वोट, आपको क्या चाहिए आपके नेता से?
हमको यही चाहिए, नशा बिल्कुल बंद हो, पंजाब में नशा ना बंद कर दे, और जो वादे करते हैं, प्रॉमिस देते हैं, उनको पूरा, जो करते हैं उनको पूरा निभाएं।
In Amritsar East, where many such de-addiction centers flourish, ironically, the battle is being fought on drugs. The Akali Dal leader, Bikram Majithia, is an accused in a drugs case, but he calls the charges false and assures to do his bit in wiping out the Chitta or drugs in Punjab.
Your opponent, what he says about you has no meaning. It's what the court of the country say. What are the investigating agencies of the country say? And where it's the last 10 years, no court, no one has found anything against me.
This has also been an area which has unfortunately been often in a bad news as far as the whole drug abuse and issue is concerned. I know things are changing. People do talk about that. If you are voted back to power and if your party comes to power, is that going to be one of your priority areas?
Absolutely, absolutely.
His opponent and sitting MLA Navjot Singh Sidhu was ready to take on his own government and threatened to go on a hunger strike if the SIT report on drugs was not made public by the Channi government.
मैं आज ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਕਹਿਣਾ, ਜੇ ਇਹ ਰਿਪੋਰਟ ਨਾ ਖੋਲੀ ਪੰਜਾਬ ਸਰਕਾਰ ਨੇ ਤੇ ਨਵਜੋਤ ਸਿੰਘ ਸਿੱਧੂ ਆਪਣੀ ਦੇਹੀ ਦਾ ਦੇ ਉੱਤੇ ਲਾਉ, ਮਰਨ ਵਰਤ ਦੇ ਉੱਤੇ ਜਾਓ ਕਹਤਾ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ।
Sidhu hopes his stand on drugs will help him sail through in what is looking like a challenging battle.
He's smitten with fear. The system is smitten with fear. All of them are ganged up. All the mafia is ganged up. They believe that if Sidhu comes to power, he'll change the system. He'll bring in that change. And हमारी बाजार बंद कर देगा. Right? तुम देखो तो सही इन लोगों ने क्या किया है. See, he talks of achievement. All right, I say 27, 30 generations of yours. One Kartarpur Sahib corridor. Right? And I'll give you your achievements. You're a drug mafia. Satta, Pindi. It's not me. It's the STF report. It's the ED. It's Niranjan Singh.
So you don't believe him when he says he's got nothing to do with these allegations?
The whole world knows. देखो घर में जाके अगला कहना चिट्टा बेचने आ गया. There cannot be smoke without fire. Can there be? Right.
During 2017 elections, Rahul Gandhi had stoked controversy when he said that a majority of Punjab's youth were drug addicts.
काफी साल पहले मैं यहाँ आया और मैंने ड्रग्स के बारे में कहा 70% युवा पंजाब का ड्रग्स में लिप्त है.
He had promised that Congress would fight the drug menace and also tackle joblessness which fed the drug trade. Nothing has happened on this front either. In 2017, the Amrinder Singh government came to power on the promise of one job per family. Before them, the Akalis came to power in 2012 with the promise of 10 lakh jobs for the youth. The fact that in 2022 all parties are making the same promises again is proof that nothing has been done in the last decade. Charanjit Singh Channi has assured 1 lakh jobs per year for the youth. Akalis have promised 75 reservations for youth in private jobs. The BJP hopes to tap into this sentiment and overcome the anger over farm bills. In fact, LI Captain Amrinder Singh is pitching the double-engine Sarkar to give jobs.
When I am a chief minister and I have a law and order problem on a border state, who do I go to? Home Minister or the National Security Advisor? If there's something bigger, I go to the PM. When there's a financial problem, who goes and meets the Finance Minister? My Finance Minister. If it's a food problem, who goes? My Food Minister. If it's any problem, the minister concerned goes there, the Health Minister. I went, I'm not the Health Minister of Punjab, but I had to go and see the Health Minister of for these COVID injections because we ran short of them. So these are sort of things that you have to do. How can a government of the state work without the government of the centre?
As per government data, unemployment in Punjab stands at 7.6%, which is much more than a national average of 4.6%. So it comes as no surprise that immigration facilitators like this one do so well.
better life और career में फर्क हो गया.
Rohit Singh, the director of ESS Global, tells me that on a daily basis, at least 25 boys and girls turn up here looking for a bright future abroad.
There are a lot of programs in biomedical, bioinformatics, but the industry is not there to cater for jobs. So when we are starting those kind of things where the job is not available, or in general the job is in scarcity, the people tend to go to all other second options, as you mentioned, drugs and all that, or making some other plans for life, for good, for bad, whichever idea they think it works for them. So it is one of the major factor, not having proper jobs. It's amazing how some of the government promote that we're gonna send student overseas ourselves rather than creating jobs here in India, here in the state of India. So that's one of the funny things.
25-year-old Munish is just one of them. He has been visiting the centre with his mother and is desperate to go abroad. Job cuts, slashed salaries and COVID has shattered his dreams. He wants to do well and earn big bucks.
जितना आउटपुट हम चाहते हैं उतना मिलता नहीं एजुकेशन के बाद. जैसे मैंने मास्टर इन फार्माकोलॉजी की, उसके बाद मेरे को 20,000 की जॉब मिली, और ये कोरोना क्राइसिस के कारण मेरी जॉब मतलब सैलरी जो है वो आधी हो गई. बाहर अगर मैं बेटर अपॉर्चुनिटी के लिए देखूँ, क्योंकि मेरे फ्रेंड गए हुए हैं बाहर, वो इस टाइम जब वापस आए हैं उन्होंने 10 लाख की कार निकलवाई है और मेरे से एक आल्टो तक नहीं अफोर्ड हो रही.
His mother is all set to sell her land so that her son can fly to fulfill his dreams. आपको लगता है यहाँ पे इनको उतनी अपॉर्चुनिटीज नहीं मिल रही?
नहीं मिल रही, बिल्कुल नहीं. अब कोरोना तो बात तो बिल्कुल ज़्यादा गड़बड़ेशन हो गई है सारी. सैलरी भी हाफ मिल रही है और नीड्स भी नहीं पूरियां हो रही हैं.
The irony, as Rohit Singh points out, is that instead of ensuring jobs, parties are offering loans and concessions to the youth so that they can fly abroad. I was looking at the manifesto of a couple of political parties for this time now. They are saying we are going to give you incentives so that you can go abroad.
Exactly. So it should go other way around.
It should go other way around. That you should not have to go abroad because we are getting you jobs.
We are giving you education. We are giving you job opportunities. You should stay with the home and contribute in Indian economy.
As diminishing returns sets in, lots of people, and young particularly, are leaving their traditional work and decided to go away abroad. I've been covering several elections in Punjab. It's usually been a story of failed promises. But this time round, Punjab is seeing a multipolar fight. Several political parties. Does that mean that there are going to be more options now available as far as the youth is concerned? As we head into our next segment, after the break, I'm going to try and get a sense and dissect and decipher whether Punjab at least can now offer a story of hope. Punjab is used to two-way fights. When the Aam Aadmi Party entered the fray in 2017, they were seen as a spoiler at best. But today we are seeing a multi-cornered contest in Punjab. Congress versus Congress, Akalis plus BSP, BJP plus Punjab Lok Congress, AAP and the Kisan Front. Now, while the voter in Punjab has many options, there is a sense of fatigue and little hope of things changing. मैं बहुत सारे लोगों से बात कर रही थी. उन्होंने अपने बच्चों को विदेश भेज दिया या बच्चे खुद विदेश चले गए. उनका कहना ये यहाँ है कि हमारे पास नौकरियाँ ही नहीं है यहाँ पे जाने का.
कोई नौकरी नहीं यहाँ पर. नौकरी नहीं है जी. नौकरी होए फिर वहाँ पर जान दी क्या लोग है.
यहाँ पर नौकरी
20 लाख रुपया लगा के कौन गए.
तो कोई दिक्कतें नहीं ना. जहाँ पर भी बंदा काम करके कमा सकता है नौकरी.
ये हमारा पंजाब भी जो सही सरकारें हमारा साथ दे, अमेरिका कनाडा ही बन जाएगा भी.
This is Patiala, the turf of Captain Emergence Singh, who is fighting for political relevance. A hurt and angry captain after being ousted by the Congress, floated his own party and tied up with the BJP. He says that a double-engine Sarkar will ensure that development comes to Punjab.
अगर असी पंजाब और सेंटर दी हुकूमत जो एक बहुत गूढ़ा संबंध होएगा साडा और हर चीज असी इन्हां दे नाल बैठ के गल कर सकांगे तां इस पंजाब बहुत अगे जा सकदा है इस पंजाब दी लोड़ है.
But in Patiala, some voters feel that a captain minus Congress and with the BJP just doesn't work. Jasbir Singh, who runs a Phulkari business in Patiala, is angry that his business is slow and claims that there is no help from the government. He says the situation was the same even when captain was the CM. क्या आपको लगता है पटियाला इस बात को याद रख के वोट देगा कि नाराजगी है?
सर नाराजगी तो मैडम है ही है इसमें. मतलब इन्होंने कोई इतना काम जो सीएम का शहर है, सीएम सिटी थी, उस हिसाब से जो काम होना चाहिए था या फैक्ट्री लगनी चाहिए थी या नौकरी मिलनी चाहिए थे, ऐसा तो अभी तक कुछ भी नहीं हुआ यहाँ पे. तो सीएम सिटी थी, सीएम सिटी में तो बहुत कुछ चेंजेस होती हैं. मतलब सीएम सिटी में वैसे कुछ हुआ नहीं है.
पिछली बार जितनी भी सरकारें आई हैं, चाहे कैप्टन साहब सीएम रहे हैं, कुछ भी रहे हैं, पटियाले के लिए कोई खास काम नहीं है. कोई ओवरऑल पूरे पंजाब में कोई खास काम नहीं हुए. लास्ट इलेक्शन में उन्होंने जैसे अपने वादे किए थे 2500 पेंशन के, घर घर नौकरी देने के, बहुत तरह के वादे, कोई किसी तरह का काम सिरे नहीं चढ़ा उनका.
Now, Patiala is known for its duties, but business hasn't picked up of late. The sprucing up of the nearby Killa Palace has brought some hope of tourists and trade. But there is disappointment that Captain, who is a Maharaja, has not been able to generate jobs and cash in on the heritage site. पंजाब में सब कुछ अच्छा है लेकिन नौकरियां नहीं है. और जो यंग लोग हैं, जो नौजवान हैं, उनके साथ दिक्कत ये है कि उनको यहाँ नौकरियां नहीं है, इसलिए वो विदेश चले जाते हैं.
वैसे ज्यादातर ये है यहाँ पे रोजगार नहीं, इसलिए लोग बाहर जाते हैं. आज के जो नौजवान हैं बस सरकारी नौकरी नहीं है, भ्रष्टाचार बहुत फैला हुआ है. देखो
When there's talk of change, AAP is sensing opportunity. This is also the reason why Arvind Kejriwal wants to replicate what he calls the Delhi model, promising cheap electricity, shops, jobs and an outreach to the armed army. Another sore point that AAP wants to cash in on the anger over sending children abroad because of lack of jobs in the state.
जो बच्चे हैं उनको नौकरी नहीं है, बाहर को जा रहे हैं. हम ये चाहते हैं कि बदलाव लाएंगे. बदलाव जब आएगा तो पंजाब की स्थिति बेहतर हो जाएगी.
नौ बोलते बाहर गए हुए हैं. यहाँ कोई रोजगार ही नहीं है. पढ़ लिख कर भी यहाँ कुछ नहीं मिल रहा.
जो करप्शन है खत्म होनी चाहिए, हेल्थ और एजुकेशन बेटर होनी चाहिए, तभी सब ठीक हो जाएगा.
Bhagwat Mann, AAP CM face, has tremendous connect in most rural parts of Punjab. The former comedian is hoping to have the last laugh.
रंगला पंजाब मॉडल, जो पहले नाचता हंसता खेलता गाता पंजाब था, गिद्दे भंगड़ों का पंजाब था, कुश्तियाँ कबड्डियाँ होती थी, फौज में जर्नैल भर्ती होते थे, वो वाला पंजाब वापस लाना है. हमें कैलिफोर्निया, लंदन, पेरिस नहीं बनाना. जो हमारे यूथ है उनको जॉब सीकर्स नहीं, जॉब प्रोवाइडर्स बनाएंगे. वो नौकरियां देने वाले बनाएंगे, नौकरियां लेने वाले नहीं बनाएंगे. तो फैक्ट्रीज आएंगी, इंडस्ट्री को वापस लाया जाएगा, बहुत कुछ होगा. आपको 3-4 महीने में रंगले पंजाब की झलक दिखाई देने लगी.
With his modest home in Sangrur and rustic demeanour, Mann hopes to counter the poor man and Aam Aadmi tag which Congress has bestowed on his CM face Charanjit Singh Channi.
पूरी कांग्रेस पार्टी ने
Congress may not admit it, but AAP is his biggest challenge right now, and hence the party picked Channi over Navjot Singh Sidhu.
पंजाब के लोगों ने कहा हमें गरीब घर का चीफ मिनिस्टर चाहिए. मुश्किल डिसीजन था, आपने आसान बना दिया. पंजाब के चीफ मिनिस्टरियल कैंडिडेट चरणजीत सिंह चन्नी जी.
Channi understands this. He knows his task is not just to offer a contrast to Captain Amrinder Singh. He also has to compete with the AAP and Mann to show that he too is a simple man, an Aam Aadmi. Behind this carefully crafted image is a shrewd politician who knows he has to offer change and hope to voters who are disillusioned. क्या ये deliberate strategy है? क्या आप ये दिखाना चाहते हैं कि देखिए मैं लोगों से घुल मिल रहा हूँ, मैं जैसे देख रही हूँ आप लोगों से घुल मिल रहे हैं, क्या आप ये भी छवि दिखाना चाहते हैं कांग्रेस का कि ये है कांग्रेस में चेंज?
अरे दिखाना नहीं चाहता हूँ, मैं तो उसको रोक रहा हूँ यार, पत्रकार बैठे हैं, आप बाद में मिल लेना। मेरी आदत ऐसी है, मैं मिलता ही ऐसे हूँ और मैं सबके बीच में ही रहता हूँ। दिखाने वाली बात नहीं, दिखाना मैं चाहता नहीं हूँ, मैं तो मिलता हूँ सबको। केजरीवाल की एक नीति है कि किसी को चोर चोर कहते रहो, लोग समझेंगे शायद हो ही ना। अब ये कितने से माफी मांग चुका है। गडकरी साहब से इसने माफी भी मांगी, पहले इल्जाम लगाए, बाद में माफी मांगी। जेटली साहब से इसने माफी मांगी, पहले इल्जाम लगाए, फिर बाद में माफी मांग ली। और अभी रिसेंटली इसने मजीठिया से माफी मांगकर बाद में पहले इल्जाम लगाए थे। तो ये एक सीएम चेहरा ऐसा नहीं होना चाहिए।
The Congress replaced Captain in the hope that it could undo the anti-incumbency which Emergence Singh's government was facing. But in the bargain, it has ended up with infighting and running a listless campaign. While Sidhu insists he's not gunning for any post, it's clear that the decision to name Channi has come as a setback to him. The Punjab model he has pushed may have impressed the Gandhis, but will it work for the party without Sidhu as the CM face?
I stand by the Congress for a lifetime, and it's unconditional. I stand with Priyanka Gandhi and Rahul Gandhi. I gave up a Rajya Sabha and then came. Do you mean to say I came for a post? Disappointments need to be cremated and not embalmed.
But Sidhu, who has pushed for a drugs-free Punjab and even taken on his own government, knows that he faces a tough challenge from the Akalis.
सिद्धू की हार जीत का सवाल नहीं है, सवाल ये है कि सिस्टम को बदलेगा कौन?
Vikram Majithia, who has been accused of patronizing the drug cartel, is putting up a strong fight. He rejects all charges against him and instead asks that what has Navjot Singh Sidhu done for Amritsar and Punjab. You've been the target of Navjot Singh Sidhu's politics and of the Congress party. Does that bother you? Does that make you feel you could be on a back foot because you're taking on the man who keeps on hitting on you on this issue?
So I enjoy every bit of it. As long as they don't miss an opportunity, the politics doesn't work without taking my name.
You think elections is going to be the kind of revenge time?
No, so for him maybe, because he's a non-performer. He hasn't performed. 18 years, he's been member parliament here. His wife's been a chief parliamentary secretary, a minister for state. He's been a minister. He's the president of the ruling Congress party. Why has this constituency not got the basic facilities?
It would be a mistake to write off the Akalis. Like the BJP, they too have a dedicated cadre. And even in 2017, when they had lost power, they managed to hold on to their strongholds. The hold that the Akalis have over Judge 6, coupled with the Dalit votes bank they are targeting through an alliance with the BSP, is aimed at regaining lost ground. But the projection of Channi as a Dalit CM has put a spanner in the works. Despite that, the Akalis hope to offer familiarity and stability which they claim no other party can.
शिरोमणि अकाली दल का है, अगर पार्टी के तौर पर काम किया है तो उन्होंने बहुत बड़ियां लड़ाइयां लड़ियां देश के हित ਲਈ और सूबे के हित ਲਈ। ये सारियां पार्टियां ਦਾ कोई इन्होंने कदे पंजाब खातर या देश खातर कोई हादा नारा भी नहीं मारेगा।
Over the last few days, I have travelled across Punjab, Gurdaspur, Bhatinda, Patiala, Amritsar, Ludhiana, and tried to give you a sense of what is it that the people of this colourful state want and they feel. When I ask them who do you think is going to win and what is it that you're going to get, they would say Sanuki. Yani ki how does it matter to us? Behind the sheen of the colours of Punjab lies a grim reality of unfulfilled promises. Who is it who's going to sit on the throne? Who's going to be the real Sardar? Well, 10th March is going to tell us. Thank you so much for watching.